And now I'd like to move towards Mr. Mushtaq. So this is also, again, there's such a role that UNEP is playing in. And one of the things that we'd love to hear a little bit around from your point of view as well is, could you give more insights on how countries decouple economic growth and air pollution problems, which we can see the data shows us as well as the region has been booming in many different kind of ways. So too has the pollution. Do you have some good examples of countries or cities in the region that have been able to kind of think, let's say, intentionally or consciously about how to decouple the growth, the constant quest for growth, if you will, but also mitigate the complete exponential increase in the pollution, the air pollution specifically? Would love to hear from your point of view. And over to you, Dr. Mushtaq.
Thank you, Courtney. So when we say decoupling, this was coined by UNEP in 2010 for sustainable consumption and production to showcase that how the resource efficiency can be achieved. For example, like in Japan, for every additional dollar in the economy, GDP, it takes about 0.25 kilogram of resources. While in Mongolia, it's more than 13 kilogram, because the mining industry and in Japan is a tertiary and even now outsourced industries like Toyotas and all this. And so every additional dollar in economy, how much impact it has, let's say, on air pollution. That's what the decoupling is all about. And that also includes the well-being and basic services like health, education, and so on. So if you look at the transport sector, just for example, as Courtney asked me to put an example, and look at Bangkok, for example. Now, Bangkok's economy, let's say 25% or so, comes from tourism. And if you look back 30 years back, when there was no monorail, no underground, the tourists used to move around mainly by taxis or tuk-tuk, creating a lot of pollution, congestion, and everything. And the economy was getting affected negatively because the other moving parts like doctors, engineers, workers, they also got caught into the congestion, so they have a negative impacts on that. And then since the monorail is in place and being extended to even beyond Bangkok underground, how much tourists, like number of tourists, have moved to the BTS, for example? So if you talk about every additional dollar coming out of the tourism and the impact of that on air pollution 30 years and the impact today is quite different. So today means we have decoupled in a big way the earning from tourism vis-a-vis the air pollution by providing the effective and efficient public transport. That's one way. Other example, again, I just did a project on the food loss and food waste. And when we look on the farm to market, and with now modern technologies, with when you have a demand and supply in place, you can really improve the efficiency of connecting demand and supply. That means on the one hand, you reduce the food waste, food loss, but more immediately, you reduce the transport trips. Otherwise, you move to one place, you find no demand, you move to other place to find, and so on. So basically, this is very interesting that how with the help of the modern technologies, with the IoTs, with the apps and so on, you can also reduce the trips. And similarly, with suppose, like I use a public transport in Bangkok, even buses, and I have Via Bus app on my lights. So I can really see what time buses are coming and where it is going and how I can coordinate. So I think this modern technologies help a lot to decouple again the air pollution. and the economic growth. So these are the few examples, but I'm open to provide as many examples as possible. But my point is that the data scientists, the numbers they fly around, no? So if you see how many journeys are taken in Bangkok and how many journeys are essential, how many journeys are perceived, and with the different mayors like a land use planning to shorten the journeys or bringing to the journeys from private cars to the public transport, then you, based on that, you have a science policy interface. So this data science is very important to bring the policies, how you can reorganize the journeys, shorten or to the public transport or walkable journeys to really make the bigger economic impact with a smaller air pollution. Thank you.